If you're a dentist or a physician, you're paying about $20 a month for Claude, and you have ever typed anything about a real patient into it, give me the next 90 seconds. Because the plan you are paying for is specifically excluded from Anthropic's Business Associate Agreement, not a gray area, named in writing on their own privacy page. And the reason almost nobody knows this is that in January, Anthropic shipped a product called Claude for Healthcare and put the health features on exactly the tiers that have no BAA. So I want to do two things today. First, show you precisely where that line sits so you can go check your own account tonight. Second, show you the highest value thing a dental practice can do with this technology that never touches that line at all. And it's backed by a review the ADA published last month. This is Elliot AI, Elliot's personal assistant. Elliot spent 20 years at the bedside as a nurse in emergency and intensive care, alongside 22 years of military service before moving into IT, where he now helps medical teams implement advanced AI and automation. Here's the whole rule, and it is short. Anthropic will sign a business associate agreement for exactly two surfaces. 1. The first-party Claude API. 2. HIPAA-ready Claude Enterprise plans, which are sales-assisted only. You cannot self-serve your way into one. That is the list. That is the entire list. Now here is what is not covered, and I want to read it because paraphrasing it does you no good. Claude Free, Claude Pro, Claude Max, Claude Team, the Workbench and the Console, Claude Cowork, and any product, feature, or integration that is currently in beta. So if you are on Pro, you are not covered. If your 3-provider office is on a team plan because that seemed like the business grade option, you are not covered. If you are on Max because you wanted the bigger usage limits, you are not covered. And I want to be careful with my language here because this is where most people get sloppy. Claude is not HIPAA compliant. No AI product is HIPAA compliant because compliance is not a property a product has. What exists is a specific configuration operated under a signed agreement that can be used inside a HIPAA workflow. Anybody who tells you a tool is compliant out of the box is telling you something that cannot be true. Now, why does this catch careful people? Because of the timing. On January 11th, Anthropic launched Claude for Healthcare. Real product, real substance. They shipped connectors to PubMed, 35 million papers, to ICD-10, to the CMS coverage database, to the National Provider Identifier Registry. Serious infrastructure. And in the same launch, they shipped personal health integrations. HealthX, Function, Apple Health, Android Health Connect. Those went to Pro and Max. Consumer tiers. Now that is not a mistake on Anthropic's part. Those are consumer features built for an individual managing their own health data, and they are explicit that they do not train models on that data. That is a reasonable product decision, but put yourself in the chair of a dentist who reads a headline that says Claude for Healthcare, opens the app she already pays for, and finds a health integration sitting right there waiting for her. Every signal in that experience says this is for you. Nothing in that moment says the agreement that would let you put protected health information through it does not cover this plan. She has to go find that on a separate privacy page she has no reason to be looking at. That is the gap. It is not a trap anybody set. It is just a gap, and it is costing people who are otherwise being careful. And there is one more layer that I have not heard anybody say out loud, so let me say it. Getting on Enterprise does not automatically fix this. The default Enterprise plan does not include BAA coverage. HIPAA-ready Enterprise is a separate sales-assisted arrangement. And even once you have it, somebody has to physically go turn it on. The primary owner on the account has to open organization settings, go to data and privacy, go to HIPAA compliance, accept the business associate agreement, and explicitly enable HIPAA mode. 3 deliberate steps by one specific person. So if you are the clinical lead at a practice that bought Enterprise 8 months ago, and you are assuming the office manager handled it, go look. Tonight. That setting is either on or it is off, and it takes you about 40 seconds to find out, and I will give you the honest trade-off because this is the part that gets left out. Going the API route or the HIPAA ready enterprise route costs real money and real setup time. For a two-operatory practice that mostly wants help writing patient emails, that is a genuinely hard sell, and I am not going to pretend it isn't. Which brings me to the actual point of this video. For most of what a small practice actually wants to do with AI right now, you do not need a BAA. You need to not put protected health information in the prompt. Those are different problems, and the second one is free to solve. So let me show you the version of this that has no compliance surface at all and happens to be the most defensible content a dental practice can publish. Start with a number. More than 30 million Americans are living with a rare disease. That is roughly 1 in 10, according to the National Organization for Rare Disorders. Sit with that for a second because the word rare is doing a lot of damage here. Individually, yes, each of these conditions is rare. In aggregate, they are not rare at all. If you have a 2,000 patient panel, the math says something like 200 of those people have one, and most of them do not know it yet. Here is what their experience looks like. The average time from first symptom to accurate diagnosis is about 4.7 years. More than half of patients, 56% are still undiagnosed more than 6 months after their first medical contact. It is common to see 8 or more specialists along the way, and fewer than 5% of the 10,000 plus known rare diseases have an approved treatment. So this is not a small population with an exotic problem. This is a couple hundred people in your practice, in year 3 of a 4.5-year search, being told by a series of very competent clinicians that their labs look fine. And here is the part that I think dentistry has genuinely not internalized, and it is not my opinion, it is in the literature. Oral manifestations may be the first, the only, or the most severe feature of a systemic disease. That is standard teaching in oral medicine. Several rare diseases present with distinctive dental and craniofacial features early in their course, and the International Journal of Oral Science puts it about as plainly as a journal will. Dentists and oral surgeons are best placed to make early identification of such diseases, and this is not old news that everybody has already absorbed. In June, the Journal of the American Dental Association ran a review in its Oral Science Trends series called Rare Diseases: Challenges for Optimal Oral Health, covering the literature through March of this year. The profession is actively saying this right now, but I want to give you the structural reason, because I think it is the part that actually matters, and I do not think it is the clinical acuity argument. Think about the shape of a 4.7-year diagnostic odyssey. Almost every appointment in it is a one-off. You see the rheumatologist once, you see the GI once, maybe twice. Each of those specialists gets a single snapshot of a person they have never met and will probably not see again. The 6-month recall is different. It is one of the only reliably recurring appointments in the entire odyssey. Same patient, same provider, on a schedule for years, and looking into a part of the body that nobody else routinely examines. 20 years at the bedside taught Elliot that the thing that catches the zebra is almost never a smarter clinician in the room. It is the person who has seen the patient enough times to notice that something changed. Structurally, that is the dental chair, and almost nothing in dental marketing is built around it. So here is what to actually do with that, and watch how it stays completely clear of everything in the first half of this video. Step 1, pick one condition you genuinely see that has oral manifestations. Step 2, open Claude, use the PubMed connector, and pull the recent literature on it. Step 3, and this is where the compliance question disappears. Ask for a one-page explainer at a 6th to 8th grade reading level. General condition information only. No diagnosis, no treatment recommendation, no patient specifics, nothing about any individual human being. Step 4, and this one is not optional. You read it and you edit it. You are the clinician. The model does not sign anything and does not carry your license. Step 5, that page goes into a patient education sequence that actually reaches people between visits. Now notice what happened. No protected health information ever entered the model. So the BAA question never arises, not because we found a loophole, but because we never created the exposure in the first place. And that distinction is the whole game. The practices that get this wrong are not the ones being reckless. They are the ones who never drew the line between using AI on general medical knowledge and using AI on a specific patient. One of those needs a signed agreement. The other one needs you to be careful about what you type. I will give you the honest limit on this too. If your practice has no way to reach patients between visits, none of this matters. A patient education library nobody receives is a folder on your desktop. The content is not the hard part. Delivery is. So, two things to go do. Tonight, go find out which plan your practice is actually on and whether HIPAA mode is on or off. That is a 40-second check, and it is the highest value 40 seconds in this video. Then this week, write one patient explainer about one condition you see, run it through your own review, and get it in front of people. If the delivery side is where you get stuck, that is the piece Elliot builds for practices, and there is a link below to how that works. No pitch on it. Go look if it is useful to you. If you want a deeper walkthrough of the PubMed connector workflow, say so in the comments and Elliot will cover that one next.